Upon reading Lee and Bernoff's work in Groundswell, Winning in a World Transformed by Social Technologies, I began to contemplate my own role in the groundswell and realized that I had three major ones. In the groundswell, I am a creator, a joiner, and a conversationalist. And I also realized that these roles of mine indirectly influence the groundswell while directly influencing my network. And by my network, I mean my internship. LAMP is a local nonprofit where we specialize in interpreting and translating services. And I realized that my role as a marketing assistant and a medical interpreter could easily sway public opinion and indirectly influence the groundswell. The first role I'm going to discuss with you today is my role of creator. In the book, Lee and Bernoff introduce the idea of the social technographic ladder, in which they break down the role of each group of consumers in the groundswell. According to the ladder, creators are online consumers who at least once a month publish a blog or article online or maintain a web page or video. And these creators represent 23% of the online adult population in the United States. Personally, I create my content tailored to my network of people to pique the interest of those within it. So, for example, as part of my internship duties as a marketing assistant, I write public information articles telling the public about nonprofit collaborations between LAMP and other nonprofit firms of the St. Louis area. As I mentioned before, LAMP offers low-cost translation and interpreting services to non-English speaking clients with nonprofits who cater to the diverse populations in the St. Louis area. And this is done to ensure that their mission of lowering the cultural gap in St. Louis is fulfilled. These partnerships raise public awareness about the gap and rally support from those who want to eliminate the gap and those who have a presence in the cultural communities to do so. Meaning that as a result of the groundswell, they can directly change the language gap in our area. By articulating these partnerships on the company blog, I am directly responsible for creating a discussion on culture representation in St. Louis and how, as a provider of interpreters, LAMP is directly advocating for them. And by doing so openly on the blog, which is a publicly accessible domain, I am inviting interaction from the public to better our company's efforts. This affects the groundswell because my ideas and articles can spread worldwide instantly, sparking other discussions in different countries about cultural advocacy and what it means, meaning that the whole world can be involved and provide their perspectives in an instant. This could lead to the transparency on issues of race and equality, among other things, and could forever change other societies and what culture means to them. The fact that one article has the potential to do this is dependent on the people who perpetuate the spark and climatization of online buzz. Because according to Lee and Bernoff, people have always depended on each other and drawn strength from each other, and people have always rebelled against institutional power in social movements like labor unions and political revolutions. But the rough balance between the scale economy of institutions and the rebellions of their constituencies has shifted because of the advent and spread of social technologies. If you don't understand what that means, I didn't at first either. Put simply, technology has increased the spread and depth of people's dependence on each other, making my content buzzworthy to those who are passionate about it and capable of igniting a cultural storm led by my passionate codependents. In other words, technology is sparking those who are passionate about culture and allowing them to spread my articles and the ideas of others similar to my own in a very quick format worldwide, aka the digital groundswell. The role that I'm going to talk to you about today is my role as a joiner. As a creator, I want my content to be seen and dissected by as large of a population as possible, making my role as a joiner vital. According to Lee and Bernoff, joiners participate in and maintain profiles on social networks. For example, I'm a member of Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram because of their ease in both spreading my message and giving me the ability to gather intel on its success in achieving LAMP's mission. Just like the statement, the medium is the message, my joining of social networks is portraying my message for me. Due to the simple fact of connectivity, I can drive visits to LAMP's blog by linking it to my own pages and summarizing it to my content. As a result, other joiners will see it and be aware of my message and LAMP's goal in the community. This applies to the Groundswell because joiners on social media created pages to stay in the loop. They are avid consumers of products put out by creators like myself, and therefore are responsible for the outreach of its content, indirectly influencing the Groundswell. Therefore, I am influencing the Groundswell by being a joiner, just because I exist virtually, to drive visits to the company blog, making my work and the work of others known, and instantiating the very existence of the digital boom by desiring to be alive. The third role that I'm going to talk to you about today is my role as a conversationalist. So to recap, I create content and join social media to perpetuate my content and LAMP's message. But I'm also a conversationalist who, according to Lee and Burnoff, participates in frequent back and forth dialogue that's characteristic of status updates on Facebook and Twitter, and unlike other groups, do so weekly, not just monthly. My main goal as a conversationalist is to spark a reaction from the virtual public about my articles. To do this, I link my work to my social media as a status update and allow others the opportunity to read my thoughts. I do so with a tagline or question designed to prompt a discussion about my topic that anyone can participate in. But more importantly, I can target specific groups through specific dialogue to perpetuate my message through the Groundswell. This is because of my desire to influence the Groundswell's simple equation of success, which, according to the authors, is the fact that on the internet, traffic equals money. This is because technology in the hands of almost always connected people is responsible for a constant stream of conversation. So I put my content out there. These always connected folks get a hold of it and dissect it. And whether they are doing so in a positive or negative way, they are creating publicity for my creations and LAMP's overall message. They are willingly participating in the Groundswell by exhibiting word of mouth and publicly representing LAMP and my articles to other almost always connected people. Therefore, Burnoff and Lee are right. Conversation is driving visitors to my articles, which in turn is driving visits to LAMP's blog and gaining them more attention, and as a result, indirectly giving them more business. In conclusion, as a result of the internet age, I am directly responsible for participating in and influencing the Groundswell. How? I am a creator of articles, I am a joiner of social media, and I am a purposeful conversationalist on social media to address my articles. As a result, I am using the Groundswell's principles of people, technology, and internet economics to better my internship's business and community visibility, and am successfully doing so by influencing the Groundswell as a creator, joiner, and conversationalist. As a result, I'm spreading my message of cultural advocacy and allowing others to do the same all over the world. Thank you, and have a good night.